after the intervention, that's what I want to stress to the people, that even after the intervention, I had no intention on staying sober. You know, my goal to going to treatment after my intervention was to figure out a way that I would never have to go back to work again, because I had fun in the clubs where I was partying. You know, that was where my focus was on. That was what I wanted to do. So I was going to figure out a way while I was in treatment where I wouldn't have to go back to a 9-to-5 job ever again, and I would be able to go ahead and find a way to stay in the clubs, in the nightlife, and live that lifestyle.
I did it for 12 years.
That was
it's
my
there.
goal.
If
that was
that's
my
what you
goal.
want to do, those doors are open for you to walk through.
Yep, that was my goal. But
and you decided to close that door.
Well, in treatment, that's when it clicked for me. Is while I was in treatment, I learned that I had a disease that was killing me. And, you know, at that time, you know, back in the late 80s, you know, I didn't know what it was. I just said, I'm dying, and I'm dying quick. And so I pretty much gave up. And like you said, I didn't care. I gave up. It was like, you know, I'm ready to die. I lived my life.
It was like my friends, if they saw my name in an obituary, they wouldn't be shocked.
Yep.
And they would say,
yep.
That's Dean.
Yep.
My actions, the things I would do, that's just Dean.
Yep. We were waiting, just waiting for that day to just die. Sure. So I realized that I was dying, but then when my doctor told me that, you know, it wasn't a foreign disease, it wasn't cancer, it was drug addiction and alcoholism.
And that's something. Drug addiction and alcoholism is one of the only diseases that you can control if it's fatal or not. You have that power.
And he said, you would be lucky if it was cancer or another disease, because you would live longer. But with the way you are and as sick as you are, you're going to die pretty quickly here. And I knew it in my gut that I was dying. And that was the thing that shifted me and made me grasp on to, what do I do? Just like you said, I had the power to change that, but I had to go into treatment and absorb what they were teaching me, and then grasp on to my recovery program that I still am a part of. You know, I will hopefully be a part of that recovery program the rest of my life, because it really does, not only, you know, even with 12 years sobriety, it took me to another level back then because of the steps that they teach you to work and keeping honest and living that healthy life.
You brought up the term disease. Let's talk about myths and facts about addiction. There's people out there that smoke. They just quit smoking on their own, cold turkey. There's people that need the patch, people that do acupuncture, so on and so forth. So there may be people out there that think it is just a matter of willpower. It's not a disease. You could stop if you really wanted to.
Yep.
Let's talk about some myths and facts and fiction about addiction.
Well, the facts are, there have been people that are able to stop on their own. You know, I'm not going to deny that. There are people out there that could do that. But the reality is that I would say 95% of those 23 million can't stop on their own. So if those people need help, then it's our responsibility to help them get that help. So for the people that are able to stop on their own, you know, something devastating happened in their life that they chose to stop on their own, like the smoker having a loved one get cancer. Or something devastating happened in their life that made them want to change. And if we're going to wait for our loved one for that time to come in a natural progression, then we might as well be playing Russian roulette with their life. That's really the reality of it. So my theory is to, the minute you notice something's wrong, get involved in getting them help, because if we wait, we're wondering. You know, I loved it when
you're not going to be planning an intervention. You're going to be planning a funeral.
Exactly. And so, you know, you could have either one of them, and thank God, You know, I was 26 years old when I got sober, and thank God I didn't die then, because I've been fortunate enough, like you said, to help millions of people because of my experience, strength, and hope, because of what I've learned in my recovery, and then taking courses and classes on addiction. You know, the AMA considers addiction a disease. Who are we to argue that? You know?
Yeah, we know everything when we're active.
The best professionals in the world right here in America. And yet, why would you think that, you know, oh, it's really not that bad for my loved one? Well, do your research and find out that, you know, if the American Medical Association considers it a disease, then there's a reason behind that.
Sure. Intervention airs Monday nights from 8 to 10 on the A&E channel. We're going to take a look. We'll be right back.
The scary part with her disease is the bottom is 6 feet under. And we have to be willing to do whatever it's going to take to help her tomorrow with this.
Any nightmare she could dream up, she's already living or already has had.
Yeah.
So
There are no consequences with her.
Except for she is her own worst enemy, as is evident by her last
Well,
surgical
still
procedure.
though, I mean, I really think that we're important to her.
Oh, no, I'm
And
not.
No, well, wait a minute, let me finish. What I'm saying is, I think that even though she has done, all of this has happened with her, she knows she can call me anytime she wants. She knows that.
Me too.
If that were threatened, if Vince were to say to her,
Yeah,
I
that's it.
can't
She
talk to
would-
you anymore or anything.
flip,
would tell
I
him.
mean,
I honestly believe that what you just said is going to be the only way we could get her in. I really do. I've thought about this. I really don't see any other avenue with her.
She's got 2 rides out of here.
You know?
One is to her treatment and one is to the morgue.
Once again, you can watch Ken on the A&E channel Mondays from 8 to 10, Intervention. At this time, we're going to take questions from the audience, if they have any, for Ken or myself.
Hello. Hi, Ken. This question is for you. Can you tell me if there's any link between mental illness and addiction and alcoholism?
A lot of people do, you know, suffer from bipolar or, you know, other mental illnesses. And the thing is that the behaviors are so similar with mental illness and addiction. So it really takes for the addict or the person, the individual that we're talking about, to really get involved with the medical community of where they are to really determine. And what they always do when there's addiction involved is they strip them clean of their drugs prior to giving a true diagnosis. You know, I've worked with so many people that they would say, this person is, you know, in crystal meth psychosis, and their behaviors are similar to somebody that's mentally ill. You know, they're paranoid, they have, you know, a schizophrenic person. So what we do is we strip them from the crystal meth and then see how they react in treatment, and see if a lot of the times the behavior, this paranoia will still continue. So it may be mental illness, but that's up to clinical staff to decide while they're in treatment.
Well, I guess my second question would be, to start an addiction or alcoholism, is there an impulse? Is it in the brain? Is it, you know, personality, environmental? You know, what exactly triggers the first time you start, whether it be smoking, alcohol, drugs? Is there any way to try to kind of figure out?
Well, the leading addiction that's happening right now in our country is, you know, 12, 13, 14-year-olds are taking prescription